you're going to have a testicular artery. If you have a female cat, you're going to have an ovarian artery. So I think it's important. We're not going to do a lot of the reproductive system yet. Reproductive system is going to come at the end of the semester. But it helps right now to know which cat is which. You probably had a label on your bag. But I should be able to look inside the abdominal cavity here, as well as look at outside to the external genitalia and say, oh, this is a male or a female. But in doing that, if I know it's a female, I want to be able to find the uterus and the ovaries. If it's a male, I want to be able to find the vas deferens and testes and those kinds of things. So let me just show you. This is short and easy. Show you what the two cats look like. So I have a female here, so I can show you this. So here is the pelvic cavity down here. I'm going to get a little closer here. So you see, here's the pelvic cavity, and coming up out of this pelvic cavity are these two little tubes here. You see these? These are very small on my cat. If you've got a female, yours may be bigger. These are some of the smallest that they look that I've seen here. But these two tubes are, what do you think? What do you think those are? Fallopian tubes? No. Okay. Hey, good guess. That's if I didn't know, that's probably what I would guess. This whole thing is the cat's uterus. The cat's uterus is not shaped like yours. Women in the class, you have a small pear-shaped uterus. It's about this big right now. You've never had a child, right? It's not very big. It might be a little more stretched out if you've had children, but the cat has what we call a bifurcated uterus. It's got two tubes. We call them horns. So we say this is the left horn of the cat's uterus, and this is the right horn. Now, why so much uterus? Because cats have litters, right? A cat can have 8 little kittens. So can you picture it now? Here's the uterus. There's 4 little kittens end to end here, like boxcars on a train. So there's 4 little kittens stored in this tube. There are 4 little kittens over here end to end in this tube. They don't have a circular placenta. They have a belt-like placenta that goes all the way around the tube, right? So that when the cats are going to give birth, they just squeeze them out of these tubes, right? One at a time. They all come out end to end out of these tubes. So this whole thing is the uterus. Now, if I follow the uterus to the end, then I find right here on the end a little bean-like object, and that's the ovary. So there is the left ovary of the cat right there. The little bit of tissue cradling it is the fallopian tube. The fallopian tube is very small. But I can find the left ovary, and then over here on this side, see, there's the little bean at the end of the uterus. Sorry, there's the little bean at the end of the uterus on this side. There's the right ovary. So if I see a blood vessel in here, and I see one right here, see this little red tube? That tiny, it's not very big, but it's running straight for the ovary, isn't it? That would be the ovarian artery. We'll get to that at a later time. But we want to be able to find those structures, find the uterus and the ovaries in a female cat. Good? Now, what about a male? You wouldn't see any of those things, right? There's no uterus, there's no ovaries, so it's going to look blank in here. There is something that you would be able to see, though. There is something that you would be able to see. You can see the urinary bladder here. You can see these little pouches. Now, what would there be inside that you could see that belongs to the male? Isn't all the male stuff on the outside?
His vast
I'm guessing that most people that don't know human anatomy, they still know that a man has a penis outside his body. They know that he's got testes, what we call testicles, outside. I would guess most people think it just connects from the outside, right? It does not. Because where did his testes start? Inside his body, right? The same tissue that grows into a woman's ovaries grows into a man's testes. So they grow inside the pelvic cavity. And you hear jokes every once in a while about whether testes have descended, right? Because that's literally what happens. They're inside the body cavity of a boy while he's in the womb. And then as you get closer and closer to birth, they start descending. And all males have two little tunnels in their groin. They're called inguinal canals. And the testes are pulled down through that and then drop into the scrotum, into the sac that they're in. So there's these little tunnels. But while they migrate, they take with them their blood supply. All the little tubes that feed them have come down through the tunnel, and a male's tunnel still have all of those resources, as well as the spermatic tube. So sperm that are produced in the testes have to come up through the tube into the body and then connect to the penis. And so if this was a male cat, here's what I would do. I'd find the urinary bladder. I'd find the two little pouches of fat on either side. And then right here, just curving around the fat down below, would be the vas deferens. There's a little white tube that you would see running around here. And then we would see right over here on the side, there would be a little tunnel right about there that leads out to the scrotum. And that little tunnel would have been where the testes migrated through. And the artery and the vein would be running right down here and going right out that tunnel along with the vas deferens. So it would be right here. I'll try and make sure the next time, in 2 weeks, we're going to dissect again. Next week is a bone lab. And then 2 weeks, another dissection to finish it up. And I'll make sure we get a male in here so we can see, so you get a chance to see that. But that's what you would see. The sperm have to come up and into the body and then connect to the penis to get out. Cool? Got it? All right. Okay, so I'm going to leave it right there. Now, we need to do a couple of things. We are now going to see heart and lungs now. Okay, see what they really look like in an animal. So we need to cut up into the chest. Now, I've got my skin on. Let me sort of, while we're just, the last couple are finishing up, let me show you what to do now. We're going to make 2 more cuts. Here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to gently get inside here. In a young cat, the thymus gland is quite large because it's full of white blood cells learning what to do. In an older cat, it's shrunk down and atrophied. It's not very big because all the white blood cells have left and gone out to work. And so if I look in here, here's how I find it. Typically, there's some of it laying right on the heart here. And to just get a feel for it, I pinch the surface of the heart like this and try and pinch up any tissue that's loose on the surface of the heart here. And that might include some of this adipose tissue. But if I pinch like that, now I'm pinching some stuff off. I'm going to pinch up this way here. And this has got to be an older cat because there's hardly any thymus gland here. Once I've got a handle on it, I can kind of put my finger under it and continue to lift it. And so I'm just going to absolutely pull this out of there, okay? And so that is not a lot of thymus gland. That is just a little bit of stuff. You'll know you pulled properly if you, when you pulled it off, you can clearly see this blue tube there. Anybody want to guess what the name of that is? What's that blue tube above the heart?
Superior vena cava.
Superior vena cava. There it is. We're actually seeing it in the cat. So take your thymus gland and remove it so you can see your superior vena cava. See how big it is. Guess how young or old your cat is. And then put it back in. And we've made our way down the list.
Pinch it up. Just pinch it and pull it up.